The McKinsey Mind, understanding and implementing the problem-solving tools and management techniques of the world's top strategic consulting firm. By Ethan M. Rasiel and Paul N. Friga, this is a book summary. Imagine this, you're in a high-stakes boardroom. The air is thick with tension. The CEO of a Fortune 500 company sits across from you, his eyes locked onto yours, expecting an answer that could determine the fate of the business. The CFO shuffles through spreadsheets, impatiently tapping a pen against the table. The head of strategy leans forward, watching you like a hawk. The company is bleeding money, competitors are circling like sharks, and everyone in the room knows that this moment, right here, right now, could make or break their future. What do you do? How do you think? How do you cut through the noise, find the real problem, and deliver a solution that actually works? Welcome to the world of elite problem solving. Today we are diving into The McKinsey Mind, a book that uncovers the secret tools and management techniques used by one of the world's most elite consulting firms, McKinsey Company. This book isn't just theory, it's built on insights from former McKinsey consultants who've applied these techniques in real-life, high-pressure situations. It's the blueprint for how the best minds in business break down problems, analyze data, and create game-changing solutions. By the end of this video, you won't just understand how McKinsey consultants think, you'll know how to apply their strategies in your own life, whether you're an entrepreneur, a corporate strategist, or just someone looking to sharpen their decision-making skills. Because let's be real, life is full of tough problems. The question is, are you ready to think like the world's best problem solvers? Let's unlock the McKinsey mindset. Section 1. The power of structured thinking. There's a reason why McKinsey consultants are paid millions of dollars to solve business problems. It's not because they know more than anyone else. It's because they think better. And at the core of McKinsey's problem-solving approach is structure. Let's be honest. When most people tackle a business problem, they do it haphazardly. They throw ideas at the wall, brainstorm endlessly, and dig through mountains of data without a clear direction. And what happens? Confusion, paralysis, wasted time. McKinsey consultants don't work like that. They use a proven method called mutually exclusive, collectively exhaustive. What does that mean? It means that when breaking down a problem, every part of it should be distinct, no overlaps, but together, they should cover all possibilities. This ensures clarity, efficiency, and no wasted effort. Think of it like organizing a messy closet. Instead of randomly shoving clothes in, you neatly separate everything. Shirts in one section, pants in another, shoes in their own space. No overlap, no clutter. Just pure order. Now let's see it in action. Let's say your company's revenue is dropping, and leadership is panicking. Instead of throwing out random guesses, maybe it's our pricing, maybe marketing isn't working, maybe customers just don't like us anymore. You break it down into clear, structured categories. Product issues, e.g. declining quality, outdated features, lack of innovation. Market issues, e.g. new competitors, economic downturn, shifting consumer preferences. Sales process issues, e.g. weak marketing, ineffective sales team, poor customer service. Now, instead of feeling overwhelmed, you have a clear roadmap. You attack each category, find the root cause, and systematically solve the problem without getting distracted by irrelevant details. Next time you face a business challenge, map out your issue, break it down logically, make sure your categories don't overlap, and ensure you're covering all possibilities. You'll be amazed at how quickly you start seeing solutions. Think about this. Have you ever been lost in a huge, unfamiliar city? Imagine you land in Tokyo for the first time. The streets are a maze, the signs are in Japanese, and people are rushing past you in every direction. If you don't have a structured plan, you'll be overwhelmed and waste hours wandering aimlessly. But let's say you pull out Google Maps. Now instead of panicking, you break the problem down. 1. Where am I? Location on the map. 2. Where do I need to go? Final destination options. Train, taxi, walking. Suddenly, the chaos disappears. You have clarity, direction, and a plan. That's exactly how MECE works in business. It transforms messy, chaotic problems into structured, solvable challenges. The best problem solvers in the world don't guess. They structure their thinking. Next time you're faced with a tough decision, whether it's in business or life, stop and break it down using the MECE framework. Section 2. Hypothesis-driven thinking. If you think the best problem solvers gather all the data before deciding on a solution, think again. One of the biggest mistakes people make when tackling complex problems is thinking they need to collect every possible piece of information before making a decision. They dive into research mode, drowning in spreadsheets, running endless surveys, and pulling data from every imaginable source. This is a trap. It's called analysis paralysis, and it can leave you stuck for weeks, sometimes even months, without any meaningful action. McKinsey's approach? They flip the script. Instead of boiling the ocean with endless research, McKinsey consultants start with a hypothesis first. Rather than sifting through mountains of data hoping for an answer to magically appear, they form an educated guess based on experience, logic, and existing data trends. Then, they rigorously test that hypothesis through targeted research and analysis. Example, the restaurant dilemma. Let's say you're consulting for a struggling restaurant chain. Sales are plummeting, customer reviews are dropping, and the owners are panicking. The typical response? Collect every single customer review, analyze years of sales data, interview dozens of staff members, survey thousands of customers, and spend months sifting through information. The McKinsey response? Start with a working hypothesis based on initial observations. The problem is customer dissatisfaction due to long wait times. Now, instead of aimlessly gathering random data, you focus on testing this hypothesis. What do? Look at average wait times from customer receipts. Analyze negative reviews. Are they complaining about slow service? Visit a few locations undercover to see if service is actually slow. What happens next? If your hypothesis is right, you found a problem and can now focus on solving it, maybe by optimizing staffing, streamlining kitchen processes, or using better reservation technology. If your hypothesis is wrong, you refine it and test a new one. Maybe the issue isn't wait times, but poor food quality or bad customer service. The key is this. Instead of getting lost in an endless sea of information, McKinsey consultants focus on what matters most. Why this works: saves time by directing research toward what really matters. Forces critical thinking instead of aimless data collection. Creates faster, more effective decision-making. Try this. Before launching a massive research project, start with a clear hypothesis and test it. Ask yourself, what do I think is happening? How can I quickly test if I'm right or wrong? This will sharpen your decision-making skills and prevent wasted effort. Want to see how powerful hypothesis-driven thinking really is? Here's a real story from the McKinsey Mind. A major airline was struggling financially. Passenger numbers were down, customer satisfaction was plummeting, and revenues were shrinking. The company assumed the issue was their pricing strategy. Maybe their tickets were too expensive compared to competitors. They were about to launch a massive pricing overhaul. But then, a McKinsey consultant stepped in and said, "Let's test that assumption first." Instead of blindly cutting prices, they formed a hypothesis. Customers aren't leaving because of prices. They're leaving because of bad service. To test it, they focused on 3 things. 1. Analyzed customer complaints. 80% were about poor in-flight experiences, not pricing. 2. Ran a small experiment. Offered better customer service instead of lower fares at select locations. 3. Checked competitor pricing. Found their fares were already competitive. The result? Lowering prices wouldn't have helped. The real problem was service quality. Fixing that saved millions while keeping revenue stable. Lesson learned: always start with a hypothesis, because sometimes the problem you think you have isn't the real problem at all. And that's why McKinsey consultants don't just collect data, they think strategically. Now, let's take it one step further. Because while a strong hypothesis gives you direction, you still need the right data to prove it. Let's talk about McKinsey's next secret weapon: data-driven decisions. McKinsey consultants love data, but not just any data. They don't believe in collecting everything. Instead, they focus on 80-20 insights. The idea that 80% of results come from 20% of causes. What does that mean? Most businesses waste time analyzing things that barely move the needle. McKinsey consultants don't do that. They find the key 20% of data that actually matters and focus all their energy there. Example: the e-commerce mystery. Let's say you run an e-commerce store and sales are dropping. The typical reaction: analyze every single order, every web visit, every customer profile, and every marketing campaign. McKinsey's approach: find the 20% of problems causing 80% of the damage. You discover 50% of customer complaints are about slow delivery times. 30% of refunds come from just too poorly rated products. Instead of fixing everything, you focus on those two critical problems first. The result? A faster, more effective business turnaround. You've done the hard work. You've crunched the numbers, analyzed the patterns, and uncovered the hidden insights that could change everything. But here's the truth. Great ideas mean nothing if you can't communicate them effectively. Imagine this. You walk into the boardroom, ready to present your findings. The executives are half listening, scrolling through their phones, barely paying attention. You start explaining the problem, but 10 minutes in, you're still setting the stage. Mistake. McKinsey consultants never do this. They know that attention is a limited resource, and if you don't hook your audience within the first 30 seconds, you've lost them. The McKinsey secret? They use a structured storytelling technique called the pyramid principle. How it works? 1. Start with the answer first. Don't bury the lead. 2. Support it with 3 key insights. Back your claim with logic and evidence. 3. Use data and examples to reinforce your points. Make it undeniable. Example: the business expansion pitch. Let's say you're pitching a new business strategy. Most people would start with background information, industry trends, and an endless introduction. Wrong move. A McKinsey consultant would cut straight to the point. Our company must expand into online sales immediately. Here's why. Then they would support that claim with 3 crystal clear insights. Online retail is growing 5x faster than physical stores. Our competitors have already made the shift and are outperforming us. We already have the infrastructure to execute this with minimal investment. Boom, now you have their attention. The audience is hooked, engaged, and ready to listen. No fluff, no wasted time, just a clear, compelling case. The science behind why this works. Why does McKinsey swear by the pyramid principle? It's how the human brain processes information. Studies show that people remember conclusions better when they hear them first. If you lead with a long explanation, their minds wander before you get to the point. It forces clarity and confidence. If you can't sum up your argument in 1 sentence, you probably don't understand it well enough. It makes your ideas more persuasive. By giving the answer first and then backing it up, you appear more decisive and authoritative. Key traits of great leaders and consultants. Try this. Become a persuasive communicator. Next time you write an email, draft a report, or prepare a presentation, use the pyramid principle. Step 1. Start with the conclusion. Step 2. Provide 3 strong supporting points. Step 3. Use data, examples, and logic to reinforce your argument. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about what you know, it's about how well you can communicate it. McKinsey consultants don't just analyze problems, they lead teams to execute solutions. But here's the thing, managing isn't just about giving orders or delegating tasks. It's about managing people. Key McKinsey lesson: don't just manage tasks, manage people. If you want to operate at a McKinsey level, you need to master 3 essential leadership techniques. Give team members ownership of their work. Instead of micromanaging, empower your team to make decisions. McKinsey consultants call this structured autonomy. Set clear goals, then let people execute with freedom. Keep communication. Should be tight, to the point, and always drive action. Every update should follow a structured format. Problem: what's the issue? Insights: what did we learn? Action plan: what are we doing next? Talk to key decision makers before the big pitch. McKinsey consultants never walk into a big meeting unprepared. Before a major presentation, they speak to the key stakeholders one-on-one to address concerns and ensure alignment. Why? Because if you wait until the official meeting to get buy-in, it's too late. Try this. Lead like a McKinsey pro. Next time you're leading a project. 1. Pre-wire your meetings. Talk to key people in advance. 2. Structure all communication using MECE. Keep it crisp and clear. 3. Empower your team. Let them take ownership of solutions. So, what have we learned from the McKinsey Mind? Structure your thinking. Start with a hypothesis. Test. Don't guess. Focus on key insights. 80-20 rule. Present ideas powerfully. Lead with influence, not just authority. Now, it's your turn. Comment below, which McKinsey technique will you try first? Let's discuss. If you found this valuable, hit like, subscribe, and share with someone who needs to see this. Let's all sharpen our strategic thinking together. Stay smart, stay structured, and keep solving big problems. See you in the next video.